Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to attempt to explain the 5 different ways that I can think of to light a dimly lit reception, okay? So the way that I do it, if you guys have watched my videos, is off-camera flash. And that's the way that I'm mostly going to explain to you how to do it. I will touch on the other ones and explain to you why it is I don't like it. Off-camera flash to me is by far the best, and I'll explain to you the pros and cons of it as we go through the video, so stick around, okay? If you guys are wedding photographers, you could learn something. Maybe you could teach me something. Feel free to let me know what you think and what you do. I want to learn from you. So off-camera bounce flash is the first one, okay? On-camera bounce flash, sorry. The pros for this that it's even lighting and there's less shadows. If you diffuse the light by having it hit the ceiling and it bounces back to your subjects, the light source is bigger, so therefore there would be less shadows and it would be more pleasing. The problem with this is that it drowns out the ambient light, and it's kind of boring light because everything is lit up, and it's inconsistent. If you move from one spot to the next, it's going to hit that wall or this wall or something, and it's not going to be consistent. The other one, it shouldn't even be one, is to crank up the ISOs. I know some of you out there think that the cameras are magical, and so you crank up the ISOs and it's all good, right? No, the point is you want to put light where you need it, and where I need it is on the people's faces. So one of the cons with direct flash, off-camera flash, is that it does provide, or it does cause a shadow when they're next to a wall or a curtain. In this case, there is a shadow, so there's something you can do to not get that, and it's move so that you don't have that background. The shadow is going to hit the curtain, but I'm not taking a photo of it there. See, you get this directional light because the light is to the right, the subject is right in front of me. You could never do this with on-camera bounce flash. Okay, so even though I prefer this way of shooting because the flash doesn't hit the curtains, you still have to move around and get all kinds of shots. This is me doing a little video, so if you're doing a trailer, all you really need is a few seconds of each speech and you'll be able to put together something really nice. Also, don't forget to get the last part of the speech, which is the hugging. You don't want to miss that. Hopefully, you put yourself in a good position for that. Off-camera bounce flash. The pros of that is that you got even lighting. There's less shadows because the light's hitting the ceiling and it's spreading everywhere, and it's more consistent. If it's off-camera bounce flash, it'll be more consistent, but it still drowns out all the ambient light because you're spreading the light over everything, and I don't like that. That's not really my style. I will tell you this, there's been a few situations where I have done that, and that's usually for daytime indoor weddings where some light is coming in but not enough. So look, I am moving my light stand around. This would be easier with an assistant, but you don't really need an assistant all the time, especially if you have as much room as I have here to work with. Check out the settings on my camera: 1600 ISO, 1/100 shutter speed, 2.5 aperture. How do I get to that to get to this? Well, those settings are what I found out that I need to have it at to be able to get all the ambient light to show, okay? You're thinking to yourself right now, 1/100 is too slow to capture the action, except that when I set those settings, without flash, it was dark. So what the flash is doing is freezing the subject, not that they're moving that fast. So those are my settings. So how much flash power do I use? Well, probably very little in this case. I can't tell you how much I'm using right here because I don't actually remember. But it's very minimal. It was probably 1/128. Look, I moved that trash can because somebody had moved it back. It bothers me there. But without it there, I can shoot more of the background. My flash power, very low. It's probably 1 over 128, but I can bring it up if I need to. I know some of you do not like those shadows that the light creates. But let me ask you, would you rather have shadows like that? I mean, there's shadows on the floor right now. Any light source is going to create shadows here. You see those shadows, right? Those are not being caused by my flash. They're being caused by the ambient lighting. So let me ask you, do you prefer shadows like the ones that my light is creating, or do you prefer to drown out all the light with bounce flash and just kind of make everything even? Which one is better for you? Boring, even light? Boring, I think it's boring. Or more dramatic, direct light, like from an angle, like that. You see, not every photo has to be a wide angle photo or some kind of wide shot. So when you get close like this, it looks really nice. For those of you that use on-camera direct flash, well, good luck with that. The pros for that is that it's easy. It's very easy. The cons is, it's like deer in headlights kind of light. It looks ugly and it's very amateurish. Certain kind of style that I'm sure some people will say it's artistic, but I think that's horrible. It does not look good. So let me ask you, how would you light this if you were outdoors and bounce flash is not an option because you cannot bounce light from the sky? How would you do it? Okay, so now we're gonna do the bouquet toss, and I think you can see a pattern to the way I do things. The light is to my right. It's not always to my right, sometimes it's to my left. But here it is to my right. I am going to use single point autofocus. I just focused on her face, got a test shot. It was a little too hot, so what do? Let's see here. I lower my ISO. You see how that works? You lower your ISO. I didn't turn the flash power down because it's so much easier to just lower the ISO. So I lowered it, I focused on her face. I just told her to do it once, faking it, because I need to get video of it, and I got it. So now I'm gonna focus on her face, focus and recompose, and then just blast it with, there she goes. And look how nice this looks. I mean, this looks really good. This couple was really happy with their photos, and I got a whole bunch of pictures to be able to get that little sequence down. So after they do the bouquet toss, I always say, hey, come here. And I'm calling her, she doesn't hear, and finally she gets it. So I tell them to come forward, you see, because my light is already set up where it is. So I got her back to the same position roughly, and my light is good. I don't need to adjust a thing. Why? Because I set up my light to be where it is, and it's perfect there. Here, they were about to put the chair down, you see, but I took control of it. You gotta take control over things because you know what's gonna look best. So I put it this way because I wanted the backdrop to be the nice twinkly lights behind them and the people watching. So I have my light to the right, same as everything else that I've done today. And I get a little video first. You can see how dark it is in here. I'm at 3200 ISO 1.8. That's how dark it is. But when I switch over to photos, now my ISO is at 1250, 1 over 100, 2.2. So I have my light going to the right like this, and I get really great pictures, I think. I mean, the lighting is great. You can see the ambient light going. It looks really nice. Lighting up a wedding in a situation like this where you want to be able to get the ambient light, it can be a little difficult because a lot of people's go-to method is the bounce flash. But I'm telling you, if you use bounce flash, you're gonna drown out all this light. Even if I put my light AD200 without a grid, it would also drown out a little bit of the light because the light spreads everywhere because I got the mag sphere on this. And what the mag sphere does is it blows the light in left, right, up, down. But with the grid on, it focuses it more. And I think it looks really good. Right here, I'm telling him, go slow, go slow. Do it once for video, fake it, and then I'll take the photo of it. Same thing as I told his bride. Okay, so here he is. See, I switched it over to photos. I got my test shot. It's good to go. So I switch over to video real quick. I already instructed him to fake it, and here he is faking it. Right? Okay, good. So I switch over to photos. My ISOs and every settings are different, and I get it. Bam, bam, bam. And he took a little longer. There he goes. And I think, like I said, I think these look really good. I mean, I am humble, but I think I got this down. Like, I have this down. One of the things that I feel makes a photographer stand out or show that they know their craft is how good they are able to use flash. It really does bother me when somebody says they're a natural light photographer, because all that tells me is that you don't know how to use flash. Sorry. It's just, I really do feel like that. I should make a whole video about that and piss off a whole bunch of people, because natural light photography is nice. I use it a lot. I actually prefer it even, but I know how to use flash for when I need to. And I do. I use it here. I use my light outside. Even when you think it's a natural light photo, it's not. I use it a little bit just to enhance. So here, they're going to take a picture with the both people that caught the bouquet, the garter, and the bouquet. Sometimes this picture doesn't materialize, it doesn't happen, but here I kind of told them and they all listened, so we took a quick picture. It's all good. Believe it or not, everything that's happened up until now has been super easy. I mean, it's super easy. You only really have to worry about lighting up 1 or 2 people. That makes it really easy for me. This part though is harder, because now you're not lighting up just 1 or 2 people, you're lighting up 4 or more, because they're doing the money dance. And look at the way that they are. The way that I have my light set up is actually not a good way, because where the groom is, he's positioned, the light is going to hit him first, and where the bride is going to hit her second. So what's going to happen is the settings are going to be different for the groom and for the bride, because they are further away from the light, the bride is. So this is actually not a good spot where I have the light. Luckily, or maybe not luckily, because I know what I'm doing, I recognize that like right away. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe if I bring it back a little bit more, the inverse square law will help me out. And what that is the more the light travels, the more even it would be. But it doesn't actually quite help. So I do this. So what I did is I grabbed my light and I put myself in a better position. You see how the bride and the groom are dancing there? They're basically on the same plane, right beside each other. So I don't have to deal with having to change my settings because the bride is a little further from the light. This is a much easier position. Plus I have a ton of room. So I do my test shot. How does it go? Perfect. So I already know kind of how far to place the light. So this works out really, really well. And the whole evening, well, not the whole evening, but they're doing this dance with all these people, and it's just really easy to capture a whole bunch of really cool pictures because they're basically on the same plane. You cannot control the way they set themselves up for the dancing, but hopefully you'll have enough space that you can kind of move around, or hopefully what they'll do is they'll listen to you and they'll dance where you tell them. But you know, you can't really dictate everything, right? So you have to be able to adapt. So I'll run through some pictures of what I took at the wedding, at the reception, of the dancing. I think these look really good. A lot of the credit has to go to the venue for making it so nice and twinkly. The lights, they just look really good. And you know, the other part is me, right? I put my light where I need it to be and I get these really cool shots. I really, really like these. And so here the bride asked for this picture. So what I do is I put them behind the DJ, okay? Because now the DJ has turned on his LED lights, his little, you know, look at those lasers. they look horrible when they hit somebody's body. They're green, they're blue, they're purple. So I put them behind them. And you're thinking to yourself, well, the DJ is gonna be in the shot. Well, look how low I'm getting to not get the DJ. But first I have to get a little bit of video, which is what I'm doing right here. So I'll direct them to do a little something and get a little video going, and then I'll take the picture. The one difference here from every other photo you've seen the whole night is that I took off the grid for it. Can some of you guess why I took off the grid? It's because the grid is going to make it so that it's focused on maybe like the bride and 3 or 4 girls around her. But look how many there were there. I wanted to light them all up, so I took off the grid to stop focusing the light so much, and then I took the shot. And then the rest of the evening was just a bunch of dancing. And well, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribed, and there's gonna be a whole lot more videos. If you guys want to see different types of videos and just behind the scenes weddings, let me know, okay? All right, thanks.
I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you, 'cause there's so many ways that I want to carve out our names, board a last minute plane, just us two. We can chase the sun as it sets in the mountains, find luck like a bet in Greek fountains, or lay lazy in bed with your head on my chest. I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you. Every day another I do, 'cause you know I do, I do, I do. I hope you can hear every note that my heart sings, like a choir of bells, how they all ring. Oh, can't you tell, neath the timpani swells and heartstrings, there's a place deep in our hearts where it matters. We can stay there forever and after, written in stars right above where we are. I hope you don't mind if I say that I love you.